Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Thursday morning. Oh my God, we've got some amazing stuff for you guys today. You guys know me, Tracy Wilson, live on my page, live on, I don't know, I'm looking up at the corner here and I've got something like 10 different pages we are live on right now. And you guys know the amazing Vickie Helm, who is just over there on the screen. She's on my, I don't know, left or on my right. But today, you guys, we have got some freaking super exciting news to share with you guys. We have got our brand new book that is being released today. Let me get it up on the screen, called How to Go from Six-Figure Coach to a Seven-Figure and Beyond Mentor. We're going to talk all about our book. We're going to tell you kind of some detail about what's in it, how you can get your hands on it. A couple of weeks ago, I put a post out on my personal Facebook page letting everybody know that what we've been up to behind the scenes. Firstly, I want to do a huge shout out to Vickie because, these books don't come to fruition without somebody amazing that's in the driver's seat making a lot of this stuff happen. And that would happen to be the amazing Vickie Helm, putting all of our knowledge, our skills, our expertise and everything into another amazing book. As you guys know, we launched the She-Myth book earlier this year. No wonder I feel like it has been like I blinked and the entire year has just kind of flown past, hasn't it? But yeah. Been like, holy crap, yeah. we put out the She-Myth book earlier this year and then to get a second one out. And guess what, guys? Not just this is a second one for Vickie and I, but it's actually Vickie's second book launch of the day. So today she actually launched 2 books in one day. That's how amazing champions go about their business. They actually just get on with it and they do whatever it takes to make stuff happen. And I can tell you right now that that our team has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to make all of this happen. So she launched the very first book earlier this morning, Vic, didn't you? And had an amazing response to the Secret Joy of You book, which was launched this morning. You guys can head on over. Where should they go, Vic, if they want to listen to the launch of the Secret Joy of You? Firstly, let's cover that off.
They can go to the Innerverse group and join there, and it's there. Shout out to Wendy Schenkel. She did the interview today, and it was fun and it was awesome. But I want to talk about something you just talked about that I thought was so important. Great companies are run by great teams and great partners. And you, my friend, are the quintessential amazing partner. It's like you talk about me being able to put books together and ideas together and the things that we put together, etc. When you get to the point where you have 2 mentors that are coming together and they're actually running a company together, they're actually doing it. Yes, both of us have bags under our eyes, but we serve a higher purpose. And there is absolutely, there's no way we could be as successful as we are without you. And there's no way that we would have as many great things as we have with you. And when you let me be in my zone of genius, you take care of absolutely everything behind the scenes so that I can be. So this is a joint effort. Thank you. So proud of us. Thank you. I'm proud of us too. And holy moly, yeah, that was the beginning of the year. And shout out because, I want to let you know that the She-Myth, that was #1 in 2 countries. 2 countries. So we are looking at international bestseller at the beginning of the year, and the next book is out. And, props to us. This is a 2-person job. It's not just me. And I feel so blessed that I have a badass for a partner. Thank you. I'm just badass for a business partner. Thank you.
Well, like Vic said, it's funny because a number of years ago, I was sitting in a room at one of my mentors, and Vickie happened to be there at the same time. And I can remember this person being up on a stage and saying, you know what? You guys most likely will find your next business partner sitting in this room right now. And I believe that was about 4 years ago that I was sitting in that room. You were in that room at the same time, Vic. We didn't even know one another from a bar of soap, coming from, I'm in Australia, you're in the US. Yeah. So 2 very unlikely lives to kind of come together and collide. And we met at an event in a, Vickie will say, in a hot tub. We call it a spa pool here, but we were just hanging out in the pool, having a good old chat. And who would have known that, 2 years later, just a short 2 years later, that we would end up having a chat. One thing led to another. Next thing we know, we've created this juggernaut of a business that that we absolutely love. I'm so blessed that I get to wake up every single morning and do exactly what
you
I'm,
do.
supposed to be doing, what I love to be doing, and it just fills me right up doing all the right things with all the right people. So super, super fun. But let's get stuck in because, as I
Yeah.
mentioned, I posted up on my group on my page last week that hey, we've got the next book coming out, which is how to go from a six-figure coach to a seven-figure and beyond mentor, and
Yeah.
asked people, who wants in, who would like a copy of this book. And gosh, the number of people that were like, me, I want in. Just the personal
Hmm.
messages that I received. I just want to say a heartfelt thanks to everybody who's continued to support me and you, Vic, over the last couple of years. But being an entrepreneur in the entrepreneurial world for almost 10 years now, making that transition out of the corporate world, which I thought I would never leave, by the way. I thought that was where I was going to, I was going to retire and die in that world, but making that leap into the entrepreneurial space and just never ever looking back. So I want to share with people today that I'm going to say a roller coaster of a ride, but as as you get to you bed down the fundamentals, which we talk a lot about in this book, that is when you start to gain real momentum and the real magic starts to happen. When you start to make some transformation, as a word that we'll talk about a lot today. When you start to make these fundamental shifts, the transformations start to happen. You start bedding down the fundamentals of business. You can then continue to build upon those. And you guys know I talk about that a lot in the Unlock show, about building your foundations, building really solid foundations. And once you get those and you start creating what we call a success pathway, things just start to gain momentum, and it just becomes it almost creates a life force of its own. So let's talk a little bit about this book and how it came to be, Vic, and what we're on this mission to do and to achieve over the next,
Thank you.
helping other people achieve what we've been able to achieve, and
Yeah.
helping them transition from being a six-figure coach into a seven-figure and beyond mentor.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I think this is what you just said. What you just said is so important, because that's the whole crux of it. The book was written because there is so much, how would I say it, manipulation now, and maybe some marginal products and services. And what happens is we have these experts out there that the world is in desperate need of. And I mean, desperate need of. And you and I talked at this at length. We talked about how they're being misled, screwed over, dropped, they're not being serviced, yet the world needs them so much.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Brunson talks about the book Atlas Shrugged, which I really like, Atlas Shrugged.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about all these people, all these entrepreneurs who, help try to make the world a better place. And what if they just shrugged it off? Because, if they went away, what would the world be like without the creators, the imaginers, the people that are out there doing it? Well, every time that we hurt one of those people and we don't give them the support they need to get their message out, to help as many people as they can, we're actually hurting our fellow man. We're not just
Mm-hmm.
hurting the expert, we're hurting that fellow man. And what happens is, when you get an expert into the mentor position, and they can have a massive rippling effect on the world becomes a better place. It raises up in consciousness. It's the type of thing that happens that allows everyone to win. When you go from a six-figure coach to a seven-figure mentor, and I want to be clear here, a mentor is different from a coach. Can you make seven figures as a coach? Yeah, easy, just like that. You can make that by the sale of a product. Mentoring is vastly different. Mentoring is how you take a person and make them a thought leader in the world, and get them out helping people on a fundamental level transform lives. And when you and I talked, I remember we talked about this, like, what exactly do we do for a living? Well, you and I transform lives for a
Mhm.
living. That's what we do. We transform lives for a living. This book is that step by step by step. How do you transform lives for a living? Which is vastly different than learning a skill set on an internet marketing course, like how to build your email list. Are those things important? Yes. But the fundamental aspect of your business, from moving from a skill set to creating a success path, is so much more empowering, and it helps more people than learning a simple skill set. And I think that's part of the launch of this book. And a lot of people that are experts, they get stuck in what we call, and you'll read about it in the book, the experts trap. And
Mhm.
every person that comes to us is that. They're already in the six figures. Some are in the mid to high six figures, but they can't push the seven-figure button because they continue to do it all. They're just doing it all, doing it all, doing it all. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's interesting because we had this conversation at
Yeah.
length about, even as a mentor, how do you almost shake the cages and start to
Yeah.
revolutionize your industry? How do you do things differently that's not the same as everybody else? And some of the things that we've learned over the years when we've been in other people's programs, we've been, we've had feedback from people, and we really started to look and understand, well, what are the things that they really need, and how do we make sure that we provide that to them? So not
Mhm.
just all the things, because we talk about, it's one thing to give them, here's what you're going to get, but you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you're also providing them with some level of a transformation. What are they going to be
Yes.
when they finish? So that's
Mhm.
really, really important. And we talk at length in the book about how to create that sense of, I'm starting out in a program
Yeah.
right now. And you mentioned this, like you can join a program and you can learn a skill set, you can learn how to do a something. But by the time you're finished with, when you're working with a mentor, it's who am I going to be when I've journeyed my way
Completed
through the
that
process?
transformation.
Yeah. What is that
Mhm.
transformation going to look like? Who is the person that I'm going to become throughout this journey? And that is and to me, is the most important thing, because if you are not transforming and you are not,
Yeah.
I'm not going to, change is one thing, and often short lived, but transformation is
Yeah.
something that you embed, you embody, you
That's
become.
right.
And
That's right.
if you can, you know, if you in your own world, if you're mentoring and you're coaching, you're helping others, you want to be able to create a space and a environment and that actually helps people to transform the person they are today, so that tomorrow they see themselves vastly differently. They look back in that rear vision mirror and they almost do not recognize themselves,
That's
because
right.
of the level of confidence, the level of expertise, the way
Yes.
in which they think, the way in which they behave becomes extremely different, in their new transformed self than
Yeah.
it was, maybe a year ago. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about that transformation process, Vic, because that is like it's the biggest thing. You're only going to go so far as your
Current
identity
self.
allows you to go, as your current
That's
self
right.
allows you to go. So let's talk about that, because that is, to me, it's the
Thanks.
most important thing. If you
Yeah.
don't shift that, if you don't get that transformation,
Yeah.
you often, as a coach, or you're sitting and it feels as if you're on that hamster wheel.
Yes. That's the thing that mentors do. I mean, coaches keep you accountable. They're a very important part of the first phase of transformation, which is, I got to learn how to do this. I got to learn how to play the game,
Mm.
etc. But when you start having success, there is something about the relationship with the mentor. The mentor is allowed to go to the places that you don't let other people go to. So there is a point where maybe we call it a blind spot, but what I like to call it is a trauma or wound spot,
Mm.
where you're hiding, or you don't want to come out, or you don't want to be brought out, or you don't want to be seen. You just kind of want to stay back. Well, when you're out in the world and you're a thought leader, you cannot hide. You will be found out now. Somebody will find you out. You can't hide. So the transformation is about, to me, learning who you are, getting to the point where you accept yourself, where you're okay at revealing who you are. You're okay at being who you are on the camera, on the stage, at the dinner table, in the drive-through, at the grocery store. You are who you are. There's not a, I'm this person here, then I'm this person here, then I'm this person here. And there was so many of us that were taught that way. It was like when you went to work, you put your work hat on and you put your work personality on. You went to work and nobody at work really knew you. They only knew the persona of work. Well, a mentor comes in and just tears all that down and gets to the point where there's raw and real. And what are you passionate about? And the transformation piece that you're talking about, that is the most empowering piece of it. Because if you're a coach, if you're a mentor, if whatever, if you want your coachee, your mentee to shift, you better know how to shift too. It can't be, oh, they shift and then I don't shift. I just get paid to watch you shift. That's the fakery that's going on right now. And most people that I mentor, I try to model for as well. Because, a transformation, people, if they see you react, and let's see, I need to hear this conversation today. Thank you. Too many hats on a daily basis. Amen to that. So what happens is when you get to the point where you are becoming who you are in that moment, and you are just you are authentically you, there's something else that happens. And it's the most important part of this. And you're going to learn this in the book. One is you will find more creativity, more empowerment, more of you than you ever thought possible. Your confidence will become so strong you won't recognize who you were before. You will cross a bridge that can only be crossed with mentorship. You will cross a bridge over here. You will be more in your zone of genius. You'll be more willing to take risks. You'll have more achievement and you'll be a high performance achiever. And what ends up happening when you cross that bridge, the beautiful, great thing is you won't know how to go back. There is no going back. You won't make the mistake of, oh, now I'm just I don't believe in myself. It won't happen. The mentor takes you across the bridge and burns the bridge behind you. You can't go back. And that's what is so empowering. And you're going to be learning about that and how that's done inside the book as well.
It's you're mentioning about, it's like that comfort zone, right? There is no way to retreat back to that. You are constantly creating your new level of comfort, which just gets bigger and bigger, and there is no way of being able to go back, because that is you're now transformed into the new version of you. The other thing that I think is really important that we talk about in the book is this way of living, the way in which we show up. So, a lot of the time I find people, and this has certainly been the sort of marketing that we have become accustomed to, right? Is that flashy, showy off. I mean, I could look out my window, which we did this morning, and there is a massive, big boat just in the bay out here. And so you're seeing people that are doing marketing of, flaunting their wares on fancy boats or Lamborghinis, and look at my big house and look at all of the things.
Yes.
And we talk in the book about that there are some, we've been down that path, that's what you think is the beacon of success. That is what success looks like, having all of the things. Let's talk, Vic, about, that true success, when you really find that opportunity to really, I suppose, stand up rather than, showing off,
Thank
showing
you.
up,
Showing up
there,
versus
being
showing
present,
off.
show up.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And I want to speak about that, because when you were talking about that, I have this story where I want to talk about my showing up and showing off. When the wealth first came in and it was rolling in large, there's something that happens to you. or it's happened to me. And suddenly what happens is you walk around and there's the first time there's a lot of money and you're like, I can buy that. I can buy that right now. I can buy that right now with cash. There's something that goes in your mind. I can get that. I can get whatever I want for cash. I can afford that. There is something that makes that transformation. And at first you're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. So, at one point I had too many houses. I had more than I could live in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was really, really big. It was the big, big, big house that they tell you to get. And what I found was that inside the big house, you must have, like, I could have had 7 children to live in the house that was
Mm-hmm.
really, really big. And I remember thinking to myself, we bought this mountain home, and in the mountain home, it was this place that I was going to go to that was hidden up in the mountains. I was going to write some books there. It was going to be quiet. It was going to be the weekend getaway place. So all of a sudden, I realized that while I was there in this little, I think it's 1,500 square feet, but it was small and it was cozy and it had the fireplace and the mountain views and everything that I actually loved. And one day it hit me. I have this to show off. And I wanted everyone to know I was successful. I had made it. I did this. And I. Anytime you show off, you're living from your ego. And
Mm-hmm.
I had the cars and the money and the this and the that. But then what I really enjoyed, what I really wanted, I didn't want anyone to know, but this was my cozy little place. It's my sanctuary. It's my this. Well, I finally, Robin and I went on book tour in 2008 and we sold everything, every single house,
Mm-hmm.
we're just like, I'm not really a real estate collector. And we went down to the thing that I loved the most, cozy. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is what I like. And so the show off life, that part of it for me was I was living somebody else's definition of what show off would be. If you're successful, then you have this kind of car and this kind of house and this kind of lifestyle and this kind of this and this kind of that. And finally, I just grabbed a hold of myself and said, that's what they said. What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? The job of the mentor is to slice through the lies and the stories and the concepts you hold of yourself and actually get to the point where you and the mentor are working together to create something you're passionate about that you like, that's beautiful for you. And
Mm-hmm.
suddenly that's how you build your happiness and your quality of life. And to me, it's not about going out to get it, but when I have to use my store, because now when I look back at it, I laugh so hard. I was like, I can't even believe I fell for that.
Yeah.
You fall for that. This is what you really want.
And like you say, that's that level, that success, that measurement of success is absolutely different for everybody.
Hmm.
And like being in the great big house and since downsizing and moving to something decluttering, almost, it's like, oh, you can breathe and you actually allow yourself space
Yeah.
to be the person that that you want to be, the life that you want to live. And sometimes that doesn't always mean having all the flash things. Like I talk a lot about in my life, my family means a lot to me. My success is based around how much I get to love my family up, how much I
Yeah.
get to see them, how much joy they bring to my life. That is the
Yeah.
level of success for me. So when I'm working with a mentor or whenever I'm creating, my businesses, it always starts with my family first. How do I make sure that I create, an environment, a lifestyle that is absolutely based around family first, and then I create my business to support that. I create the things that help me to enjoy my life with my
And
family to support what I do.
that's what makes you a great mentor. That is absolutely the key thing that makes you a great mentor. And it's so interesting. It's what makes Wendy Schenkel a great mentor as well.
Mhm.
Both of you just said it right there. When you are in a mentor's circle, you become part of their family. And
Mm-hmm.
that's it. It's like our mentees right now, they're part of our family. They're like our hoop. It's the same with Wendy. Wendy is like, if she has mentees, they stay at her house, etc. And Dan Pena, same thing. His mentees are at
Mm-hmm.
his castle. And there's all kinds of ways that mentors interact, but you are and I want to talk about this for a second because this is very important. It's in the book right there. Mentors don't take everyone. Not everybody can come up and go, "Oh yes, I want to work with you," and we go, "Okay." That's
Mm-hmm.
that's that's the struggle of coaching, when you're fighting, constantly fighting for clients. And that level of coaching. And it's interesting because the thing that we've noticed, that I've noticed for a long time, and I want to talk about this right now, the most important thing, the difference between a coach and a mentor. A coach, some of you can go out and you have a job for 20 years and you decide you want a career change. And so you're like, "Hi, I saw Tony Robbins, life coach course. So I took his life coach course." And you think suddenly, because you're
Mm-hmm.
certified, that you suddenly can go ahead and become a coach, and you put your thing out there and you put your message out there, and you are competing and competing and competing. And sometimes you think, well, okay, I have to learn to get high ticket clients. Well, guess what? Those people who need mentors, those people who are actually looking for mentors, they know the high ticket client trap.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're looking for mentorship, when they're looking to be part of a community of people where there's a win-win, and that the mentors are really taking a risk on you. Mentors take a risk on you. They reveal their sources to you. They give you key introductions to people that you wouldn't even meet if you didn't know the mentor. And a coach doesn't have those connections, or those things. I got to tell you, one of my mentors, in fact, I want to tell you, the woman who wrote, Stephanie Hartman, wrote the foreword for this
Mm-hmm.
book. She was one of my mentors that um, I hired in, it was like 2003, 4, 5. It was so long ago. And then we ended up partnering together. But when she mentored me, it took about maybe 2 years, but after 2 years, she made so many key introductions. Like, I met Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen. I met everybody through her. She opened the door for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what mentors do. They give you those key relationships and they take a risk on you. It's a vastly different thing than it is to be a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And coaching is important, and mentoring is that next level. So if you're waiting for that, maybe you're an expert and you're thinking, okay, it's time to go meet and mentor my client. Let me tell you, it's like the mentees, like, you may have hundreds of thousands of clients, but you will have dozens of mentees. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
have there's no way you can mentor hundreds of thousands of clients. If you're a hundreds of thousands of clients kind of person, you are in the coaching industry and you're churn
Mm-hmm.
and burn. Let me show you how to do this and let me find another lead. Let me show you how to do this. Let me find another lead. When my average client stays with us 5.5 years. That's
Mm-hmm.
mentorship, not 5.5 months, 5.5 years.
I mean, you're absolutely right, Vic. And I look back at even some of the clients that I'm still dealing with with today are some of the clients that I've had since the get
Yeah.
go, since I started in this industry. And like you say, it is removing that ego. So as a mentor, the ego gets dropped. You release that and you just
Just
allow
like
your
that.
person in. It's a very different type of relationship, a lot more intimate, and you are allowing them into your inner circle and being able to share with them, all of really into your secrets, into the things that you do, the people that you meet. I mean, I can remember a few years ago actually taking a client of mine over to America for, I think it was, we were over there for 9 weeks, and I took her everywhere and introduced her to everybody I possibly could that I knew could give her a leg up in her industry. And
Yeah.
that is, and as you say, that's vastly different to a coach. You know, actually taking somebody with you on a trip, living with them 24/7 for an entire 9 weeks
Yeah.
is a, you know, that is
That's
a
giving them the
completely
leg
different
up.
situation, yeah, than it is to just go in and coach, you know, once a week on a specific thing within their business. This is a very, very different, very, very different experience. And someone's saying here, yes, allowing people into this, into the sacred space. That's
Yes.
absolutely right. You know, the things that
Yeah.
we've worked many years to create, but then being open enough and allowing that ego just to dissipate and allow them to come into that sacred space, that is true mentorship. And you know, as you say, we've both got many mentors that we look up to, that we've been following for a number of years, but also have mentees that we've been working with and have been you know, supporting for many, many years. Now, there's something that I did want to talk about here, because often, and you alluded to this a little bit earlier, around, you know, that relationship and being that mentor becomes that trusted advisor, and
Yeah.
that level of trust that you have with that mentor is that they've got you. You know,
Yeah.
I've got you. I've got your back. I'm not going to let
That's
you
right.
fall. You know,
Yep.
and then them being you being really comfortable
Yep.
in being able to just be open and to take and to receive their information, to receive their teachings, receive their coachings in the way in which they are intended, and then actually go away and implement the things that they talk about. Now, sometimes a mentor doesn't always tell you what you want to hear, right? Sometimes they kind of poke and prod in those sometimes a little difficult places to really to help shift you out of that real comfort zone that we often find, you know, a lot of people find themselves in, and they don't want to move away from that. I've got an example of somebody that's in one of our programs right now. And, you know, initially when she came to us, she gave herself this label of, I'm a technophobe. I'm not good with technology. And oh my God, you know,
Yeah. It's night
watching
and
her,
day.
even just yesterday, I had a conversation with her, and just seeing the things that she is now doing,
Yeah.
you know, that veil of, it's almost like we sometimes we put these
She's now
veils
like,
on.
I'm techno
Oh
genius.
my,
It's like night and
she's like,
day.
whoa, I could hire
Yeah.
you now. You're that good, you know. But we
Yeah.
do. We put this level of armor on and these veils on as a protection mechanism to try and protect us from the things that make us uncomfortable. And what that mentor you know, does for you is, like you say, they strip down all of that. They get down to the core of who you are, and then help
Yes.
rebuild you
Yes.
from the core out.
Yes.
Right, so it's not just slapping on a Band-Aid to fix certain things. It's actually a rebuild,
Absolutely.
like the phoenix
Reimagining and
resurrecting,
rebuilding,
reimagining who you are.
rethinking who
Absolutely.
you are and what's possible for you. And the other thing is interesting too, because there's a difference between, like, if we take a look at Michael
Mhm,
Phelps, the most decorated Olympic athlete in world history. He's got like 28 medals or something like that. And what an incredible experience, literally, to fly on the wall, seeing the real, not just the outward facing persona. Yes, thank you.
mhm,
Um, uh, so, Michael Phelps, he is so amazing, but he got to the point where he coached. And there's one thing he said about his practices. He went every single day, because if he missed one day swimming, it took 2 days to make it up, 2 days to
mhm.
make it up. When you get to the point where you don't want to swim, and let's say you've been swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming, and you're to the point where you get to a breaking point. The breaking point, every every mentee has to be brought to their breaking point. Every single mentee that comes in, because the breaking point is the lie you've been telling yourself that has kept you stuck forever. Most
Mhm.
coaches don't know how to break through your breaking point because you will walk away and you'll leave them and you'll whatever, you just walk off. The mentor is somebody that a lot of times you love them. You love them. And that mentor that can step into your space and actually confront the thing that's been stopping you, that with that breaking point,
Mhm.
and let it crack open so that you can see that the nothingness of what it really was. There was a couple of places where um, uh, Michael talked about being depressed and being frustrated and wanting to quit the sport, the thing that he was the best at, quit. And he was, thinking and going every single day, years, Christmas, birthday, Thanksgiving, every single day, not missing a day because he didn't want to be 2 days behind. And that gets to the point where do you want to be? Every person to get to the next level has to go through their breaking point. So
Mhm.
what's your breaking point? If you don't know what your breaking point is, then you might benefit from mentorship. You might benefit from becoming a mentor because the mentor takes you across that threshold. That's the thing, the bridge that he burns behind you, that she burns behind you. You never go back to that breaking point. And pretty soon, as a mentor, you don't have breaking points. Breaking points are that piece that you go up to, and you're going to learn how to do that inside this book. And you
Mhm.
have to get to the point where you understand the difference between coaching and mentoring. They're
Mhm.
both necessary. But after a while, a high school coach isn't going to be great in the NFL. You need a different one.
Absolutely. And I think about, even I'm going to say a lobster. This is an analogy that I've heard many a time. That lobster wanting to crack its shell. The only way that that gets bigger, stronger in its environment is to actually break through that shell and create a new home for itself. So it does that over and over and over again, but it's a painful experience. And there is, in this case, our job as a mentor is to push, get you to the edge, get you to get you
Your
to that
breaking
breaking point
point
so that you can have the breakthrough
through.
that
That's
gets you
right.
to the other side. And you
That's
continuously
right.
do that. It's a continuous process of, you know, build and break, build and break, build and break until you can, you've exercised this muscle so many
Yes.
times that it just becomes second nature. It's
Yeah.
it's the ritual and the getting up and just keeping going. Most people that we find, particularly even in coaches, they come and go, right? You've seen this happens over and over and over again. And you mentioned this earlier, where people go and they think, well, I'm just going to get myself a certificate, I'm going to do a course and get
Yeah.
certified. But what they haven't done in that process is the identity transformation
That's
that
right.
now enables them to take the skill set, take the new piece of knowledge, and actually now implement and use that. Because
Hmm.
most people, like as Vickie said, will continue to retreat back to their old self because they've tried to do things through change and not through transformation, and
That's
which
right.
is vastly different. Change, can be short lived. Transformation is long lasting. It's
That's
a
right.
forever thing. You become the new, no bridge behind you, no way of going back, no retreat back into your shell. Your only way to go is to continuously moving forward, continue to get to that breaking zone, break through it, create your new comfort zone,
Identity.
and keep
Yep.
doing it over and
And
over and
over.
over again. And I think I've even heard, like, they do this even in the likes of the Marines, where they say,
Yeah.
most people only ever push themselves to 40% capacity, 40%
Yeah. That's
capacity.
it.
So if you know that, you've still got another 60% in your tank to keep on keeping on. And if any of you guys have watched, you may have watched some television programs where they
SEAL training.
continue, yeah, they push you to your breaking point because they
That's
want to
that's the
break
whole
you
thing of
down.
that SEAL training, that 5
Mhm.
days staying up and just going, going, going. They take you to that breaking point. They know what they're doing that way. Yeah.
Yeah, rebuild you and help, break you down to help you rebuild yourself back up so that you can see that those veils, that the armor that we've put on, those security blankets that we try to wear on a regular basis to secure us,
Yeah.
to keep us, nice and warm and in our
Yeah.
comfort zone, you actually don't need them. That
Yeah.
you're trying to prevent yourself from the nothingness, and Vickie said that so eloquently a little earlier. I mean, some of the other the other thing that we really try to look for, like, as Vickie, she alluded to this too, we're looking for a very specific type of person, in the type, the sort of person that will read the the 7-figure mental book, or you head on over to www right now, guys, and you can get a copy of the book, so moving how to go from a 6-figure coach to a 7-figure and beyond mentor. You can go and grab that right now at 7figurementorbook.com. It's $4.99
Yeah, maybe
at the
somebody can
moment, so
put it
get
in the
yourself.
thread.
Yeah, you'll see it rolling on the screen right now, guys, but one of our team will pop it into the comments section. And I'll be remiss of me to mention that we are live, so you guys can actually participate with us today. Make sure that you make comments. Tell us what your thoughts are on mentorship. Do you have mentors? How many do you have? What's your experience been? And have you had coaches? And we're interested to hear what the difference has been from your own perspective working with a coach versus working with a mentor. Let us know in the comments so that we can actually see it here and continue with this conversation. So
Yeah.
inside of the book,
Can I speak to that for a second? What you
absolutely,
just
go
said?
for it.
Good, because I know there's a lot of people out here who may be thinking that, oh, maybe I'm not ready to be a mentor yet. Maybe I'm not ready for that. But here's what I want to say. If you feel inside you like, and I want to kind of get a little woo-woo here. If you feel inside you right now and you're thinking to yourself, there was something I was supposed to do in the world, and there was something I was supposed to do to change the world, or maybe it even sounds egotistical for you to say that, but I feel called to do something. I just don't remember what it is. I don't know what it is. Or gosh, I just feel this feeling inside that I was born for something greater, something more. I was born to be somebody, do something. I get that. I get that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be somebody, because those are just words that you're answering to that calling inside of you. That's mentorship, that step up to be somebody. And when you're looking at this book and you start reading it, first off, it's not some thick book. I think it's like 106 pages. But in the book, it's going to poke that piece of you where suddenly you're going to want to figure out how it is that you can make a difference in the world with who you are, not your next certificate or another degree or another course, just who you are right now. And believe it or not, there is a calling out there where you may be thinking, man, if I could just get my message out to the world, if I could just get to the point where I'm talking to more people, maybe you get to the point where you're realizing that you want to talk to certain people and certain groups. And those people that are feeling that right now, like that shift, the unknown zone, I can feel that about myself. And maybe there's even part of you that says, my entire life, I have been preparing for right now. The world is changing right now. And I have been preparing all my life for this moment right now. And I'm not sure what to do or how to do it. That's when you get that 7-figure mentor book right now. Read it and go, oh, this is how I do that. Oh, this is why I'm feeling that. Oh, this is why I want to do that. You want to take an action right now that's going to serve that purpose, that serve that part of you, to unearth that part of you so that you step into what is your calling inside of you. Mentorship is a calling. It's not just simply it's not a job or a position or something like that. Mentorship is something that you take seriously. Mentorship is loving someone so much and them loving you so much that transformation can happen and benefits them, you, and the world. It's a huge commitment. And in this book, you're going to have the opportunity to learn 3 of the most powerful secrets about mentorship. You're going to learn the doorway into mentorship. You're going to discover all the things and secrets that you see all the other mentors using, that they built $1 billion businesses, 8, 10 figures, all of the things that are going to set you financially free, as well as give you something that's purposeful, meaningful, and fulfilling, really fulfilling and so satisfying to do.
I mean, a lot of people, I think, out there. I mean, in today's world, Vic, we've got so many people out that are actually experts at what they do. They have been they've been in an industry for a long time. And the people that I'm talking to, given the current, climate of the things that are going on, it's really got people thinking about what do I really want to do? How do I make my life purposeful so that I'm, and how do I build a legacy that I can leave behind and start really living my life on my terms? And how do I actually help impact other people at the same time? I mean, this process that Vickie and I talk about inside of the book, we give you the exact steps that actually show you how to take advantage of having a business that actually transforms lives for a living by mentoring others. I mean, in my opinion, I've been down the corporate path. This is absolutely my calling, and I know I'm in the right place because, like I said, every morning I wake up and I feel joy to talk to the clients and my mentees that I'm working with. Why? Because I love every single one of them. And like you say, there's a very different relationship. It's not a client relationship. It's a mentee relationship, and they very much become part of your family. And when you think about things from that perspective, you do the things that you would do for your family when they mean that much to you. So you absolutely can take your joy, your love for people, and what the expertise and skills and experience that you've had, and you actually can turn them into a business, into a thriving business that actually helps transform the lives of other people. So if that sounds like, if that's a calling to you, if that's pulling at your heartstrings and it's telling you, hey, this is the pathway, this is where I need to be going, then for $4.99, you can get the book where it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculously inexpensive.
You want to get your hands on the book so that you can start reading it and you can start putting into action the things that we talk about. We're going to give you some powerful secrets, and we're going to share with you the major differences between being a coach or an expert and help you to turn yourself into a highly paid mentor. Vastly different, and a different way, I'm going to say, of living, of being, of sharing your skills and your expertise with others. And it will fill you up as you continue to watch your mentees go out and do the things that they are called to do. Not that you're telling them to, you help them, you guide them, you help, understand what it means to them to live a fulfilled life.
Yeah.
And then our role as a mentor is to help create the environment that enables them to bring that to life. Very, very different than joining a cookie cutter approach
That's correct.
coaching program or online course. Very vastly different. So also there's some things that you're going to learn inside of the book. Like Vickie mentioned, the 3 secrets that she, that her and I have come up with that we know make a huge difference, that actually help you to move from being that coach expert to a sought after mentor. And then we also unveil the 16 qualities that mentors actually look for in a prospective mentee. Take that in. So this is the 16 qualities that mentors look for in prospective mentee, not the other way around. So Vickie mentioned earlier that, we're looking for a mentor. There is a risk on them. They invest their time, their effort, their expertise. They're opening the door to allow you to be part of their world, to create that very intimate relationship, to introduce you to their inner circle of people. So when doing so, the mentor looks for a very specific type of mentee. We call them freedom seekers, right? So inside of the programs that we teach, all of our mentees are freedom seekers. They are looking for a specific type of freedom in their life, but every single one of them behave in a very specific way. And it's very, very easy to spot and to identify them when you
Yeah.
understand what it is that you are looking for and how to know what those 16 are qualities that a
Yeah.
mentor, that you as a mentor also need to be looking for in your mentees. Because if you get that wrong, then you could end up with
Yeah.
a whole lot of people that you really don't,
Don't want to
you
work
won't
with.
be enjoying waking up to every morning and wanting to
Yeah,
spend
yeah,
your
it's
time with.
true.
You won't be inviting them to stay at your house. I mean, a couple of I was so damn lucky. A couple of days ago, one of our mentees from our program came to my house, and we were going to do, we were going to have a session together, and she said, "My husband and I have come here today, and we're going to cook for you. We're going to cook you and your family a meal." So they actually came into my home, in my kitchen, and cooked us a traditional, Fijian curry, and we were able to enjoy that. And they said,
Ooh.
"Look, we're not even going to stay for dinner. We just want to create this for you and your
Oh,
family. And once we've done it, we're out of here." I mean, that is the type of relationship that you get with with a
your mentees.
mentor mentee type relationship. And that's what you're going to be able to create. Also, inside of the book, you're going to understand how to spot your dream clients who are high performance individuals. So you want to be able to attract people who are high performers. Why do you want to do that? Because they're the kind of people that take action. They're the ones that want more in their life. They're the ones that are seeking freedom. They're the ones that are going to show up, right? Not just show off.
Yeah.
They're going to show up and actually put in the hard yards
And
and do the work.
I want to expound on that a little bit because I think it's so important what you just said.
Mhm,
If you're a mentor, you the difference between coaches and mentors, coaches can sell products and they don't give a crap whether you dip into the product or not. You can put that product on the shelf. They're going to work with the people who are working with it, et cetera, et cetera. And a mentor doesn't do that at all. They if you want your conversion rate to be lower, your refunds to be high, that's your gig. You'll be a coach. In a
mhm,
mentorship, right there, a mentorship is vastly different. You are looking for success stories. What you want to do with a group of mentees isn't see who falls off. You want to pick so well, have your filters in place so well. You take a group of mentees across the finish line. They get so you have proof, you have testimonials. It's like
mhm,
a mentor actually has proof in the puddings. Okay, so I've written 41 books, and there's
mhm,
proof. There's proof that I've
mhm,
written and bestseller. There's proof. That is what people are looking for right now. Even though you can use bro marketing to make a product sound good and just sell it, sell it, sell it, and churn and churn and churn and churn. True mentorship doesn't do that. True mentorship is looking to take a group of people over the finish line. That to
mhm.
me is a big that to me is a big deal. And I'm so jelly right now that somebody made you curry last night.
I
I
know.
should have gone to your house for dinner.
You would have had to have flown in, but the table was set,
Soon.
and you would have been. I would have happily had you, Vic.
That's
But yeah,
right.
I mean that's the sort of stuff that you get right, and that's
Mhm.
because we're very specific about the type of person.
Yeah.
Who are they? And a lot of the people that are attracted to what Vickie and I do, they're also very family oriented. That they and when you have people like that want to do right by their family, they are usually the type of people. It's not just one dimensional. It doesn't just happen with their family. It happens with their community, with the people that they surround themselves with. It just has that ripple effect. It just oozes out of them. Inside of the book, you're also going to discover the one thing that your dream client does that nobody else does. This is super important because when you understand what that one thing is, you can then start to very clearly, again, you can identify who they are really easily. But not only that, it also enables you to be able to create your products and your services
Mhm.
based around the things that they do. So you're always going to be servicing them at the most highest level
That's right.
possible.
Mm.
That is an important factor in all of this. Vickie also mentioned that you don't want to be focused on how many people you get into your program and how many, just come in the front door. You always want to make sure that you are nurturing, supporting, guiding them across the finish line. That is what a mentor does. It helps them get to the finish line. So there is no MIA, going missing in action, because what do? We get that, it's like we reel you back in and say, hey, come back over here. These are the things that you should be doing. And then again, it's part of
Because
that process of breaking
that's the
down and
that's the
rebuilding, right?
that's the biggest problem right there. That
Uh-huh.
right there. The biggest problem people have in success is when it gets hard, they like to stray. That or
Mm-hmm.
they like to start over. Like, okay, this is hard. This is hard. Maybe we'll add this, or maybe I'll go over here. And no, make this one thing work. That breaking point, every entrepreneur that has achieved any kind of success has had to go to the breaking point. And the question is, you're either going to avoid your breaking point or confront your breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And if you're in your breaking point right now, get the book.
Absolutely. I mean, it would be the other thing that I think, to get any real success, right? There is no easy button.
That's
People
right.
want that. I want fast, I want easy, I want instant, I want it
Yeah.
now. The reality is, with a high performer and a freedom seeker knows and understands that you've got to get some skin in the game, and you are going to
Yeah.
skin your knees, you're going to fall down, you are going to cry, you're going to swear at yourself, you're going to wonder what the F is
Yeah.
wrong
Could
with
you?
me. You're going
Yeah.
to do all of that.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. I
Yeah.
don't know how many tears I have cried wondering, through the process, what the F is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? But you just keep pushing yourself. Those that give up the moment that they feel some, resistance, feel I'm uncomfortable, this is not working, they give up, and they move on to the next shiny object. The key to this is understanding, as we talk about in the book, what are the core fundamentals? How do you build your success pathway? How do you actually put that together? And then how do you know and understand what it is that you need to be doing on the regular to actually enable all of this to unfold? Because you can imagine, playing pass the parcel as a kid, right? You're passing it around and you're getting annoyed because you're pulling off the first layer and there's nothing there. There's
That's
nothing
right.
there, people. The first layer, there's nothing
Nothing
there.
there.
But you just keep going. And it comes around to you again and you peel off the next layer. Oh, and there might be a little glimmer of something. And then you peel off the next layer and there's nothing there. And you're wondering what the heck. I'm going to send myself mad. I'm frustrated with myself. All of those things, until such time as you just stick at it. You stick at it long enough to know that, okay, if I just keep peeling back these layers, peeling back the layers of the present, you will find the gem within. The present will unveil itself, but you have to stick with it. You do not give up, because champions do not give up.
I want to say something about that as well, because I think this is so important. All of you guys that are running over to Amazon right now going, I can't find the book. I can't find the book. It's at sevenfigurementorbook.com. We haven't put it on Amazon yet, and we're not sure we're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the only way you can get a copy of this book is at sevenfigurementorbook.com. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only place and the only way you can get a copy of this book. We did it that way on purpose. We don't want everybody. We don't want that. We want certain somebody. So it's sevenfigurementorbook.com. And just go there and get yourself a copy. It is ebook only at this point. We are not doing paperback yet.
Mm-mm.
We may do it in the future, but right now we are doing something so specific, and we are testing this right now. It is going to be Catch This Live. Hey, Jane, nice to see you.
Hey,
Um,
Jane.
so you want to go there, get that book very specifically. And it's not on Amazon. It is at sevenfigurementorbook.com, sevenfigurementorbook.
Let me just
Yeah.
pop the book up. So it looks like this, guys. So how to go from a 6-figure coach to a 7-figure and beyond mentor, how to change or how to transform lives for a living. So head on over to 7figurementorbook.com and get yourself a copy today. It's just $4.99. And as we said, you're going to learn all of the secrets inside of there that we've just spoken about today, how to transform lives for a living. It will, you'll be transforming other people's lives, and in the process, you're going to be transforming your own. So it's really exciting. And I can, both Vickie and I are a testament to this. These are the things that we've done. There's nothing in that book that we haven't created or haven't done ourselves. All the things that we talk about and all the things that we do in all of our programs are things that we've done. We know how to do, and we do it. So we want to make sure that everything we do, there is a level of authenticity with it. Hence the reason that we do live shows, right? Because there's no hiding. You cannot hide when you're doing.
That's right.
The
Syndication, you can make all kinds of mistakes and look perfect. Here, this is showing up. The reason we do this is because this is what you do to show up. I just want to shout out to Wendy, who's popping at us. Great show, ladies. Thank you, Wendy, so much.
She's right here, and she had an amazing show with you this morning too.
Yeah,
hey, Wendy,
thank
great to have you here. Thank you so much for what you've been doing too. So, guys, go get yourself a copy of the 7-Figure Mentor book. As I mentioned, I am absolutely ecstatic about the fact that, who would have thought? It's just from who the heck would have thought, 2021 would have been the year that 2 amazing books would have been produced from, the team at Metatime Digital. We're pretty excited about that. This is just, 2 of many. There's a number of other books we've got up our sleeve, just saying. So you may see some more of those, come out in the very near future. But this particular book is the book that you need to go and get yourself if you want to change, you want to start to change your life, you want to transform your life, you want to transform the lives of other people, you want to learn the processes, you want to learn how to create a success pathway and implement all of the foundations you need to build a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure and beyond business. Go and get yourself a copy today. Start reading it, go through the process and implement. The other thing I want to mention is that when you've read the book, there will be an opportunity for you to book in a call with either Vickie or myself, and we'll actually jump on a call with you and we will talk through talk through what it is that you're wanting to create in your life. What's your passion? What is it that you are wanting to do? Can we help you with that? So you'll find a little bit more about that as you go through the book. But there are some awesome testimonials that are already been coming in. There's so many people to thank that have helped us put this book together or to bring it to life. You'll find that there are a lot of stories about our clients inside of this book, and every single one of them means so much to us that we wanted to make sure that we highlighted them, because that's what you do when you're a mentor. You want to highlight the people that are, you want to highlight your mentees. You're going to see them threaded throughout the book. Go check them out too, because you'll see that they're doing some awesome stuff to really make a difference in this world.
Changing the world. Changing the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's bring this launch to a close. I kind of feel like I should be up and dancing and doing some sort of, I need some music to kind of get us going, because today is just one of those days that, is super exciting. Another book coming out. This one, as the previous one, The She Myth has done, has changed so many lives. Getting to that best-selling author status and now having our second book come out is super, super exciting. But more excited, it's not about, hey, this is, a day of showing off that we've created another book. It's really about a day of, hey, we've created something that we really want you guys to be able to take away, to read, so that you can start transforming your life and other people's lives, because we know that is how you make a difference in the world on a grand scale. Vickie and I can only do so much on our own as mentors, which is the path that we've chosen to go down, which keeps things very intimate. We work with a very specific, a very intimate number of people. We don't have huge coaching programs where you get lost in the mix. We just don't work that way. So we need to be able to mentor other people to do the same. And little by little, we will start to start to impact the world on a grand scale. And it takes every single one of you guys who are sitting there today thinking, gosh, I've got so much more to give to this world and I want to do it, but how the heck do I do it? Go get yourself a copy of the book and we will help guide you along the way. So thank you so much, Vic. I can't thank you enough. You are an amazing person to work with. I love working with
I'm so
you
blessed to
and
have you
Robin
in my
every
life.
single day. And I'm glad that we got to sit in that room that day and hear from one of our mentors that, hey, you guys will probably find your next business partner in this room.
I know. Who'd have
And I'm
thought?
glad that,
I'm
it
so glad.
was you and I that rose to the surface.
Such a blessing.
And,
I'm so lucky. I'm so
we
lucky.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We will be back again. You guys know where to go to get yourself a copy of the book. Get yourself a copy of that, and then you can go through the process. And if you would like to jump on a call with both Vic and I, hey, we're willing to do that for you guys. So, someone's saying here the magic of the hot tub. You betcha. Who would have known way back then, right? But so pleased that was a day that made has changed
history.
Changed history. It changed my life.
That's
and
right.
I'm so grateful for it.
Ditto.
All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you so much for being here today, Vic. And, congratulations to us and big hugs to everybody who continues to support us on our journey of making this world a better place. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.